Welcome to Money, Manifestation, and Business, the podcast that shows you how to use your energy, intention, and consciousness to reprogram your money mindset, unleash a new level of possibility, and create a life and business that lights you up. I'm your host, Jamie Berman, and I invite you to join me each week for a dose of inspiration, coaching, and teachings to help you rewrite your money story, create abundance on your terms, and grow your business in a way that's fully aligned for you. This is going to be so much fun. Let's dive in. Hi guys, guess what? I am dropping some bonus podcast episodes just for you. Because if you know me, you know that my intention is to help you have a shift, a transformation around your relationship with money and business, and to learn that creating money, creating lots of money is not as hard as you are making it out to be. So we are going to dive into the energetics of money over these next 3 episodes, and I hope you enjoy it just as much as those who came live. All right. And if you're loving the energy of this work and you want more of it, I invite you to come join me inside of my high-level group coaching container, the Money Manifestation Movement. You can learn more about it in the show notes. And until then, I hope you really enjoy these bonus episodes. Let's go. We are going to dive right on into day 3 because, there's so much to share. Dakira says, your podcast today gave me so much hope. Yay! Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. So I know I'm putting out a lot of content, y'all, because that's what I do. But yeah, I highly recommend a new podcast episode drops today with Kim Severson, who's one of my clients. She actually joined the Money Manifestation Movement back in, I think it was like April or May. So she came to an event just like this, right? It was called Manifestathon. It was a 5-day event though. She came and it was like, she shares the story in the podcast, but basically I didn't know this. She told me on the podcast, I'm like, oh my God, Kim, I didn't know this, right? I've been coaching you for X amount of time. And I had no idea this was her experience. So she came to a call like this, right? It was a free event and she was on the cusp of leaving her business, right? She's a coach. She was done with it because she was like trying all the things, trying to follow all the rules, trying to fit into the box, doing all the marketing things. And it felt frustrating and like things were just not working. She came to an event like this and it just opened things up for her energetically. And she was like, wait a minute, right? She had the insight on the, during the event, like, hey, maybe I don't want to give up on this business thing. Maybe I can actually give it a try one more time, but from a different energy, like from a different approach, using manifestation, using what Jamie's teaching. So she had no intention of joining the movement, but she was like, this week has been really helpful. Let me just give it a try. So she joined the movement and she went from having 1 client to 17 clients in 3 months of doing this energetic work. And she shares exactly how on the podcast. So I highly recommend listening because her story is so powerful. It's so helpful. And she really provides the recipe for those of you who are like, how can it be easier, right? And she shares like what she did internally to make that happen and to manifest it. So it's really, really inspiring. And I would highly recommend that at some point you all listen to that today. So good. Awesome. I'm glad so many of you have liked it so far. Okay. Day 3 of Money Masterclass Series. Okay. So recap. Day 1, which was Monday. What? I'm like, time feels weird. We talked about energetically aligning with emotional abundance. That is how manifesting money starts. It's why so many people do not manifest money, even though they have a visual, even though they have a goal and they have a dream of making more money. The one thing that oftentimes gets in the way for them is that they are not energetically operating at the state of emotional abundance. And that can be something that you have access to no matter what your circumstances are. Even if you are completely broke, you have access to emotional abundance, and you have to learn how to tap into it, because that is what is going to attract the flow of money in. And I'm going to dive deeper into why today. It's huge. We also talked on day one about not letting your current circumstances, or not letting your past, not letting, if you've hit goals in the past or what's happened, in your business and your launches in the past, do not let that dictate what is possible for your future, or what is possible for this week or this year. It has nothing to do with it. And when I coached on the call, I coached Akira on day one. And what we talked about was like past launches, no matter how well they went or how terrible they went, it doesn't matter. You are a new person today. You are never the same person. So you can never say something like it didn't work before, right? We want to let go of that, because every day we are new. We literally have new cells in our body. And when we're operating at a new level, when we're operating in a new way of thinking, feeling, right, we create new results. So the opportunity is to continuously come back every single day and decide on purpose, how do I want to think? What do I want to operate from? What is the energy that I want to operate from? All right. Day two, yesterday, we talked about stop under earning, which when you're under earning, it is that you are blocking yourself. Your money block is around receiving. You're not comfortable with receiving. And most people don't even know that this is what's going on. A lot of people don't even realize or are aware that that's why the money flow isn't happening. That's why they can't turn the faucet on, is they're actually good at giving, but they block the flow of receiving for some reason or another, whether it comes to like limiting beliefs about potential clients, or what's possible, or what you think your clients can afford, right? Or how you're thinking about yourself, and how you're thinking about how valuable you are as an entrepreneur. And the thing is, if that is blocking you, you got to get some help, because it will get in the way. And when you think about money blocks, they're blocks, right? So it's really helpful coming to things like this and having a coach who's consistently helping you become aware of what your blocks are. Because blocks, if you think about it, it's a block. You don't see it. You can't realize it. So I really want to acknowledge all of you for showing up, and for all of you who are going to continue on into the movement, because what we're going to do is continuously pull those layers out. Find those blocks and clear them so that you can open up that channel for abundance to just flow. All right. And now what we're talking about today, I have a lot that I want to go over. So what we're going to talk about today is I want to talk about more of the energetics of money. I want to talk about the law of giving and receiving. We talked about receiving yesterday. I want to talk about giving today, and how to give in a way that you can receive. And then I also want to talk about, so day one, we talked about how money is a skill that anyone can learn. And I wholeheartedly believe that. Why do I believe it? I've seen it happen again and again and again and again with so many of my clients who came in thinking, God, I'm the one person who can't do it. And they end up opening that channel to abundance, making the kind of money that they want to, having the profitable business. They commit to that skill. They go all in, they do the work, and they learn that skill that you literally can't then unlearn. So it is. So I want to talk about what you actually have to do to learn that skill and to lock in that skill. So we're going to go over that today. And then I'm going to invite you all in, for those of you who are ready for it, to join me to continue on and work with me over the next year on your relationship with money, helping you literally just get out of your own way and make money in your business, doing what you love in a way that feels better than you would have ever imagined, right? So much of us learning how to make money is actually unlearning, right? It's learning that it doesn't have to be so hard. We don't have to be in so much resistance. We can let go, we can tap into our gifts, and we can get into the flow, and money can just come in. So anyways, I'm going to share with you more about the money manifestation movement. And I did share on call one that this is truly the best time that you can ever get in. because 1 week from today, our prices are increasing, which if you're listening to the replay, or I'm going to put this on the podcast, that's on February 1st. So in real time, 1 week from today, but February 1st, our prices are significantly going up in my business. So if you want to get in, there is no better time because you will save $2,500 if you join this week. And this program is just going to change your life. It will. I'm going to tell you guys about it, but I'm telling you, it doesn't just change your relationship with money. That's part of it, but that's just the cherry on top. Like you're going to manifest, you're going to learn how to manifest in your life and start attracting in dream opportunities, change your energetic state. You will feel so different. So I'm super excited to tell you guys about that program and then give you the opportunity to get in one last time before our prices go up. So I'm super excited. Okay, let's do it. I love it, Dakira. My launch is going to be a hit. Calling in 10,000. Yes, 100%. I love it so much. I hope the coaching was helpful on Monday. Okay, so let's talk about the energetics of money. And this is really my zone of genius. This is my expertise. This is what I teach. And it might sound weird to some of you, like, what does that mean, the energetics of money? But it's really, money is an energy, right? And I want to, for some of you, if you think this sounds weird, which I'm guessing like probably a lot of you not, just because you're in my world, you know, I'm all about manifestation and energy and all the things. But if you're new to me, I just want you to open up to the idea that maybe this could be true. Like, what if this were true? If it were true, would it feel better than what I've been believing before? Which is money is an energy. Right? The energy of money, kind of like I talked about on day one, does not come from hard work, from hustling, from trying really hard, from manipulating people to get them to pay for your service. No, that is not where the energetics, that's not where money comes from, right? So money is an energy that is attracted to an energy. And I know this sounds out there, but once I opened up to this idea and I allowed this idea in and I allowed myself to practice that maybe this could be true, I literally went from being the biggest under earner on the planet, meaning I was living paycheck to paycheck, constantly worried about money, thinking about it all the time, trying to navigate, trying to figure out how to pay bills, how to make things happen. If my car broke down, I was like, oh my God, totally screwed. It was like the world was going to end. I went from that within just a few years to bringing in so much money, more than I could have ever imagined. I'm talking millions of dollars, right? Through different channels. My business started taking off. I started manifesting money from places that I never could have imagined. I was able to buy my dream second home, which I've been dreaming of since I was 11 years old. And I literally just opened up to the idea that maybe money is an energy and maybe it's attracted to an energy. And what is the energy that money is attracted to? It's attracted to abundance. So my only job, my main job is to tap into the energy of abundance consistently. Now, how do you do that? You have to make it an intention. You have to make it a practice, because our unintentional brain, our primitive brain, our ego thinks in lack and fear. It wants to protect us. So it wants to constantly come back to lack, thinking it's protecting us. But what it's doing is it's keeping us poor. It is. So this is a practice. And this is what I work with my clients on, right? It's to help shift their energy, to coach them into, okay, what's a new way of looking at this that's going to open up the flow, that's going to make you see it from the lens of abundance? Because when you do that, you will attract in money. And what I also realized is that money doesn't come from clients. Right? Which means I don't have to put pressure on myself to try and get clients, right? When I was on coaching consults, right? Which is kind of like sales calls. Once I let go of the idea that it comes from a client, I was able to detach from it in a whole new way where I got to just show up in service and like give and love that person and like just really try to help them, knowing that I'm always going to be taken care of. Right. So I stopped believing that money comes from one specific source. It doesn't come from clients, it comes through clients. Clients are a channel that money comes through. And they're not going to come in. You're not going to get clients and you're not going to get money through the channel of clients if you're constantly in lack. It's just not going to happen. Right. And so if you open up to abundance energetically first, what can happen is then clients start becoming attracted in more. And then all of a sudden, there's a channel that abundance starts flowing through. And I mean, try it. If you think I'm wacky, I don't care. I'm like, I've made a lot of money from this idea. And from practicing this, I've helped lots of clients make lots of money, multiple six figures from this idea, from shifting this energetic state. It is a game changer, right? And not a lot of people are teaching this. People are like, no, you have to post on social this many times and blah, 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 blah. And here's what's funny, right? Is a lot of people like, initially are thinking, oh, I have to post on social because that's how I'm going to make money. Oh, I have to do this because that's how I'm going to make money. Oh, I have to do webinars because that's how I'm going to make money. So everything feels so bad, right? It feels there's so much resistance, right? So much resistance in business. And a lot of my clients come to me from that place of being in so much resistance. Like, I hate marketing. I don't want to do this. But let me tell you what happens time and time again. And I will tell you, because I have so many clients right now that are in this place where they've been working with me for a few months and they're like, holy cow, this shift is happening where what they were in resistance of and thought they hated and would never want to do, they finally gave themselves permission that they didn't have to do it. So what they start doing when we start working together is we focus in on energy. Let's get your energy right. Let's just make that a priority every day. Let's make it a priority to get your energy right. Let's get you into a place of abundance. Let's put that on the back burner for now because there's too much resistance there. It feels terrible, right? So what we do, we come in, we start working on their energy and we get that into alignment. That's like step one when I start working with clients. What then starts to happen once they finally give themselves permission to not do those things, and then they start seeing clients flow in without doing those things. And they're like, well, what is happening? I don't understand it. I'm not even doing that much. And like somehow clients are finding me. Why are they finding them? From all different sources. Oh, this one found me here that I recorded, 2 years ago. Oh, this person was referred to me. Oh, I met this person at a coffee shop. Come from random places without all that doing because they shifted into an energetic state of emotional abundance and it just starts flowing in. On top of that, it's not just clients that will allow money to start flowing in. A lot of people are like, holy cow, my partner's income like doubled or tripled or whatever, right? They're like, oh my gosh, it came through this source or this happened or what, I just got this letter that like, I had one client who was like, I got a letter that like 200,000, I think it was 150 or $200,000 of my student loan payments is completely paid off. Like the government says I don't have to pay it, right? Like it's like all these kinds of things. Like abundance is attracted to abundance. So it's going to come through any channel that you have. That's why for me, I love opening different channels for abundance to come through. It's so much fun. And then there's going to be channels that surprise you. But that is what happens. So you have to prioritize your energy. But here's what I wanted to mention is that what tends to happen for my clients, and they get blown away by this, is that once they're in that state of energetic abundance and they're not doing as much and they've slowed down and they're not making themselves do all the things, but they're prioritizing their energy, they're prioritizing their belief, they're prioritizing their thoughts, they're doing the work with me, the work that we do inside of the movement, and they start getting clients. But all of a sudden, they start wanting to do those things that they hated 3 months ago. They start thinking like, wait a minute, I want to get on TikTok. This would be so fun to offer this to my clients. Wait a minute, I want to do a webinar. Wait a minute, I want to do X, Y, or Z, this thing that I thought was so heavy before. But the difference is it's coming from a completely different energy. It's coming from abundance. It's coming from, this is a way I get to help more people. This is a way that I get to expose this work. Oh my God, it's like a place of like overflow. It's not from a place of depletion. And that changes everything. And what ends up happening, and you'll hear this in my podcast interviews over and over again, is people will say things like, I'm not doing anything and I'm getting all these clients. And I'm like, no, my friend, you are doing stuff. I see you showing up. You are showing up, but you're showing up from a different energy that you're not used to. You're showing up from motivation. So it doesn't feel like work. It feels like flow. It feels like creativity. It feels like you sharing your gifts, right? And it's not what you typically from the past have associated with work or business. It's completely different, right? So it starts to feel like you're not really working. Yeah. So that's what happens. So I want you to open up to the idea that money doesn't come from clients, it comes through clients. And if you really commit to operating from abundance, you will attract a lot more money. And that's how like people have quantum leaps, you know? That's how like I could go from manifesting, going from $14,000 up to $100,000. Then I went from $145,000 to a $500,000 a year. Then I went from a $500,000 a year up to manifesting 2 million, which was a co-creation with my husband. We had a $2 million a year. And it's like, it happened because I practice this stuff. I actually implement my own teachings. Like what I created in the movement was stuff that I created for myself that I use. And I literally go through and do the monthly topics with everyone. And I just keep bringing in more money in all different ways that I couldn't plan or expect. Like I couldn't know the how, but it works. And, so yeah, I do my work around money consistently. I still do. It's something that I don't think as an entrepreneur I'll ever let go of, because the more you do this work, the more you open up. Okay, I want to see. Oh, Camille says, I received a request for a discovery call today. I absolutely don't know the person, but she booked on my website out of nowhere. So excited. It works, right? This is the kind of stuff that happens. And Camille, you've been so committed to this work, right? And you've been in this energy for the past 3 days. So the work is to stay in this energy, right? Having a coach, having someone that you're showing up with, it's a transference of energy. That's the power of having a coach. That's the power of watching these kind of teachings, is there's this transference of energy, and energy is everything. That is how you manifest. So it's so good. I love it. Oh my God, I love this. We have always been able to pay our bills, even when we shouldn't have. And that was before I met Jamie. Amazing. Yes, yes. So good, Helen. I know. And you, my friend, I've been watching you on Facebook. Have been pretty much living your best life, manifesting all the dream vacations, going around the world. And I love it. It's been really inspiring to see what you created, Helen. I love it so much. Okay, so let's dive into more. Okay, I want to talk about, well, I think that's really the most important thing right there, right? Is like operating from emotional abundance, which is so great that you don't have to have money to do it. And this is truly why there are self-made millionaires, right? There's new money. People create money when they didn't come from money. It's because they learn this skill, and not everybody actually realizes this is what they're doing, right? Like you think about a lot of people that manifest money or call in money, they don't realize this is what they're doing, but they're just in belief that they can do it. They're really committed to creating a dream and they go after it, but they're in this state of being. So anyone can do this. Like anyone who wants to and has this heartfelt dream to do it, there's no way you can't if you commit to it. All right. Okay. So I wanted to talk about value today, right? Because yesterday we talked about receiving, right? Not stop under earning is all about receiving. And today I want to talk about giving, right? So in my work, one of the things that I teach out of the many, I have like 30 different videos where I'm teaching universal laws. So in here. I only have 3 days with you guys, so I'm sharing some of them that will be effective and will help. But I want to talk about value, because once I learned about this one universal law, it was like I realized I never have to worry about money again, because this universal law works 100% of the time, which is the law of giving and receiving that I want to touch on today. The law of giving and receiving states that if you want to receive something, you must first give it. And if you want to give something, you must also receive, right? So giving and receiving is kind of like this circle that has to constantly be moving. You can't only give, only give, only give. You also have to open up to receiving, and receiving a good amount, right? Because the more you're willing to receive, right? Whether that's receiving money, receiving support, receiving love, the more you're opening yourself up to receiving, the more you can give, right? So it actually goes hand in hand. And I talked about that yesterday, how if I weren't able to receive, I couldn't be here today teaching you guys. Also, if I weren't able to receive, if I wasn't investing a high amount of money in my own personal development, my own support, my own coach, right? Like I have high level coaches, high level support that I have helping me with my brain. Receiving that, I'm able to give it, right? So it's not just receiving money. That's one piece. Also receiving support, which a lot of people, this is your work. Because if you're trying to DIY this stuff, you're going to block yourself. And I'm just seriously saying that investing in coaching has been the biggest game changer in my entire life, because I can't see my own money blocks. So being willing to receive my own coaching, right? Hiring a coach, investing in myself, receiving that allows me to give so much more and have such a bigger impact. And then that giving, the value comes right back to me. So you really want to start seeing giving and receiving as something that's constantly moving, and something that if you're in the flow with it, you will never have to worry about money again. Never. So let's talk about the giving piece, right? Because we dove deep into receiving yesterday. And I want to talk about the 3 V's of giving, which is value, right? So some of you may have heard this idea that if you want to make money in business, you have to give value. You have to offer value and you receive money, right? Which is the energetic of exchange of give value, receive. Give value, receive. Receive value, meaning for me, it's like having my own coach, getting my own support, doing my own inner work, receiving value, giving value, right? There's this constant kind of circle that it goes through. So I want to talk about this value piece, because again, sometimes we're like, well, I'm giving value, but I'm not receiving, right? And I want to talk about the 3 V's, because there's 3 pieces of value that are really important whenever it comes to the energetics of money. It's number 1, providing value. It's number 2, valuing your value. And number 3, communicating your value. All right? So write this down, you guys. There's 3 V's with value. Receiving is over here. We're talking about the giving piece. We're talking about the value piece now, the part where it's the output. You have to provide value, which is helping your people, right? I think about it like this, like my biggest job as a coach is to help my clients get results. If I make that my main focus, I'm never going to have to worry about being fed myself, right? Because giving that value always comes back to me. So providing value, which means helping your people. For me right now, it's showing up, helping you guys, right? I'm providing value. I'm using what I've learned, what I've done inner work on, what I continue to do inner work on. And I just share that, right? And for all of you, I know you have different businesses, right? It might be a product. It might be acting, right? But it's sharing your value. It's providing that value. But the piece that blocks us from sometimes making money is when we don't value our value. then we don't charge, which goes back to day 2 yesterday, right? Where we are undercharging. So, important piece of value exchange and the law of giving and receiving is that you have to start valuing your value. And that is a lot of the work that I do with my clients, is working on self-worth, working on how they see themselves, work on really owning their brilliance, owning their gifts, being able to see it and understand it. And then when you value your own value, you can raise your rates, right? You can charge a good amount for what you are offering because you are extremely gifted. And people are going to see that. When you're able to see it, that is a reflection. It is a mirror. Other people will be able to see it. If you don't see it yourself, other people aren't going to see it, right? Because of step 3. Step 3 is you have to communicate your value. And there's many ways to do that, right? For me, what I do to communicate my value is I show up here, right? I talk about the importance of doing this work, why it matters. This is a piece. So many people are like, well, I'm putting stuff out into the world. I'm helping people, but they're not biting. They're not buying. Well, it's because you're not communicating the value of what will happen when they buy, right? That's super important. And it's going to be a lot easier to communicate that value if you value it, right? So I wanted to touch on that because I know, like, I've heard a lot out into the world of, like, or a lot of teachings of, like, if you want to make money, you have to provide value. And that is true, but there's 3 pieces of value. So I'm going to go over that one more time, Mikkel. You have to provide value, right? A lot of it, right? I provide a lot of value. I do it through my podcast. I do these live calls. I provide value in my programs like crazy. I do retreats. I show up on social consistently, and I do it from the energy of abundance. I do it from the energy of overflow because I love helping people with this. It feels like my purpose, right? So number 1 is providing value, but number 2 is valuing your value. What are your thoughts about you as an entrepreneur? You have to work on those, because the more you value yourself, and that's a self-worth thing, the more you do, the easier it's going to be to sell, because you're a mirror, right? Then other people are going to recognize your value. Other people are going to be like, I want to hire her. She's amazing. If you can see your own gifts and start to practice seeing your own brilliance, other people will see it. We are always a mirror. Okay. And then part 3, Mikkel, was communicating your value. And that is, it's like, what you want to do is you don't want to just expect that people know why it's valuable. You want to have a way of communicating it, why it's important, what they're going to get out of it, what's going to change in their life, right? And it's so different for everyone's business. I know in coaching, though, like, I know there's a lot of coaches here. It's sharing the transformation, sharing why it's important. And again, it's so much easier to communicate that when you have step 2, which is you're valuing your own value. So let me know if this is landing for you guys, because I know that's a lot of V's. We got the 3 V's. And thank you so much for putting them in the chat. So good, Scott. I'm so glad that's making sense. Amazing. Awesome. So good. Those are the 3 V's. This is what we're always working on together when I am coaching. Yes. So Mindy says, when I used to hear people say you have to provide value to make money, I used to interpret it as I'm not giving enough value, so I need to work harder. I love that you've shared 2 and 3 because that makes it so much clearer. Yes, 100%. Right? Because I was the same way. I thought, to make more money, you have to provide more value, which to me was like hustling. I need to put more and more and more and more out there, but it wasn't coming from a good energy. So yeah, all 3 are really important. And that's the law of giving and receiving. So we have to have the value piece, but we also have to have the receiving piece, right? Like I said yesterday, ask and it is given. You have to price your products, price your programs in a way that is aligned for you. And receiving is also the willingness to invest in yourself and receive support, not trying to be cheap, not trying to DIY this stuff, because that takes for frickin' ever. It does. Like it can work, but it takes a really long time. And who's got time for that? We gotta live one life, right? Carla, love this so much. It's making so much sense. I'm understanding the turning the water. Yes, totally. That's the faucet. So I always use this analogy of like, you are the one in control of your money faucet, of the flow of money. You can turn it on, you can turn it off, you can turn it up, you can turn it down. This is how you do it, right? And once this lands for you, you won't ever have to worry about money again. You're going to realize like, wait, I'm totally the creator of money. So, so important. Okay, so I'm really glad that this is helpful. Okay, I want to give you all the mantra of the day, and then I'm going to talk to you about what it actually takes to learn this skill of making money, to get from the place now, to get to the place where you are now, to where you know you're the creator. I want to tell you about the process of what it takes to do that, and then we're going to talk about the money manifestation movement. Okay? Okay. So, word of the day, mantra of the day, everyone get your notebook out. Mantra of the day is I am already good at creating money. I am already good at creating money. Again, when you come from that identity, kind of like day one, it's going to be so much easier to manifest more. And it is 100% true, y'all. All of you already know how to create money. Your mind is lying to you saying you don't know how. It's not true. How do I know? You're all here. I'm pretty sure most of you, hopefully, unless you're intermittent fasting, have had breakfast, right? You bought that breakfast. You have a computer. You know how to create money. There's not a single one of you that doesn't stop letting your brain lie to you and say, I don't know. I'm a little victim. I don't know how to. No, I'm sorry. No, you're not. You know how to create money. And the more you can step into that truth, that identity, and stop letting your brain lie to you, it's going to be a lot easier to create more of it because you're already in that identity. You know how to create money. The work that we're doing together is refining the amount you're an energetic match to, right? So you might be like, I love you, Hales. You're like, you never stop calling me out. You're not alone. I wasn't even thinking of you. I love you. This is everyone. But anyways, yeah. So what we're doing here, what I was saying is you already know how to create money and you're an energetic match to a certain amount that you like feel comfortable with. You're like, oh, I could create $10. You probably have this thought of how much you could create. So the work that I do with clients is we're just expanding your capacity to create more, right? We're expanding the amount that you know wholeheartedly you can create. And we do that little by little by little, right? I've got clients that go from $8,000 months to $100,000 months. And it's because first thing we need to do is get them in the energetic state of, wait, I do know how to create money. That's right. I'm already doing $8,000 months. And even if you're not doing, $8,000 months, a lot of my clients start with me at like, I'm doing $200 months, right? And what we do is we just keep expanding that number till it gets bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where you're like, wait, I do know how to create $100,000 months. I know how to do $100,000 launches. So it's like little by little by little, we're shifting every single month, expanding that capacity. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about this skill of making money and what it actually takes. And then we're going to talk about the movement. So what does it actually take to create this transformation? It's no different than anything else you transform in your life, right? Which transformation, I'm not going to sit here and say is easy, right? It's not easy to like completely transform your brain. It's not easy to become the person who eats junk food all the time, who becomes the person who doesn't like junk food. There is a journey, there is a process. Anyone can do it. I've done it, right? That one was one of my hardest ones for sure, but I have done it. It's like you can change anything in your life. You can change your relationship. You can change, believe me, there's nothing you can't change. And so you can also change the amount of money that you make. You can change how your business is. If you want a successful business, you can have that transformation. But I think that what gets in the way for people is they don't realize it's a journey and it's a process, right? And there's certain things that have to come to play to do it. So if you want to learn the skill of making money, know that you're someone who can make money, here's the process. Number one, you have to commit to it and you have to put energy into it. You can't just be like, I want money, I want money, I want money, but like, let's not put any energy into it, right? So I want to ask you that, check in. If you're getting these extravagant money goals in your business, it's like, how much energy are you putting towards working on your relationship with money? For a lot of people, it's like very, very, very little in the grand scheme of things. You're like, I put a lot of energy into my kids. I put a lot of energy into marketing. I put a lot of energy into, showing up every day. I put a lot of energy into my health, but you're not really looking at your relationship with money. So you might as well it's like either choose. I'm going to make this a priority. I'm going to put energy into this every day. I'm going to show up for it because I really want to learn that skill. This is really important to me, right? So you got to put energy into it. It's commit to it, put energy into it consistently. And number 3, get support with it. Stop trying to do it alone. Guys, I read 200 manifestation books, 200 books on money and manifestation before I started manifesting money. Because you can take in the info, but until you have someone helping you with your money blocks, it doesn't get very far, right? I was incrementally making more and more, and it was helpful. But it was like the minute I was like, I'm investing in this, that's when things shifted, right? I was like, oh yeah, this is serious, right? I sold my car to pay for my coach and it changed my entire life. It was the scariest investment I ever made, right? Because I was paying her thousands of dollars. I paid $8,000 for a couple months of coaching. I had to sell my car to do it. But it was like, that's the moment things changed. And I just want to emphasize that piece is really important. You can't be cheap around this stuff. It matters. You are worth it. It is worth it. Like I said yesterday, for me, if I want to have a healthy, fit body, the best thing I can do is invest in a trainer. Because if I'm trying to be cheap and having ClassPass and be like, oh, well, I could just watch it on YouTube. Don't do it. And I know the same as with our relationship with money. If you're like, I can just read this, money book. It's like, how far is that getting you? Right? Do you want to be in a different place 1 year from now, or do you want to be in a similar place? Yeah, I want to hear what you say. Mindy says, I've completely shifted my relationship with myself, my kids, and my dating life. Money is a different relationship, same skills. 100%. And that's what's so fun about this is that if you have shifted some other thing in your life, it's going to be a similar process, but you can't stop. You can't keep thinking that you can just get away with dismissing money and your work around this relationship if you want to change it. And that's when I finally realized oh, I actually have to do something about this. I can't just keep complaining about it, but keep the same crappy thoughts and keep spinning in the same stuff. I was like, if I want to change this, I'm going to invest. And I did. And that's what made all the difference. It really makes a huge difference. So with that, you have a great opportunity right now where you can invest in your brain, invest in your relationship with money. And this is why I created the money manifestation movement. It's because I have not found another program out there that helps you work on your relationship with money, specifically around manifestation, around the energetics of money, where you can also get high-level coaching consistently. So in the past, I bought so many different money and manifestation courses and they were helpful, but I didn't create transformation from them. Right. So I was like, I want to create a program where not only are they going to learn those things, they have the portal and they get to learn all the universal laws. They get to learn the energetics of money, but also come and get coached consistently so that I can pull out their limiting beliefs and help them see it and shift their energy consistently. Because that's what makes the biggest difference. Again, coaching is a transference of energy. So it's really helpful to have a coach. Yeah. So good. Okay. Yeah. Right. Helen says, so Helen's worked with me. I'll never forget the day Jamie asked me how I felt when no one signed up for my program. And I said, relieved. What an eye opener. And that's the truth, right? It's like so often we think we want something, but energetically, maybe we're scared of it. Maybe we're scared of success. Maybe we're scared of having, like more clients. And that's what's energetically blocking us. We have to make those shifts in order to open up the flow. So yeah, I can help you if you want help. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I want to show you all about this program. Oopsie, sorry. You can see my Zoom screen. Okay, so the Money Manifestation Movement, best program ever. And I have a special announcement with it, which I've already started to let you all know, is that the price of it is going up on February 1st. So you have, as of today, 1 week to get in at the lower price, right? We're going to increase the price by $2,500. So if you get in today, you save that money. And this is the lowest price we will ever offer it at. We were going to just increase it, but we decided, wait, let's give my community one last chance to get it at this lower price, which is a mega over deliver for what you get in the year and for where you're going to be 1 year from now. If you do this work, you're going to be like, that was the best investment I ever made in my brain and in my business. Right. Okay. So, let me tell you what this program kind of is all about. So similar to the work we've been doing in here, the Money Manifestation Movement is the ultimate coaching program for entrepreneurs, right? So the focus of this program is on reprogramming your relationship with money so that you can make more of it in less time, with less striving, without, trying so hard, without doing all these things that you hate in your business. Again, it's going to be about us getting you in an energetic state of emotional abundance so that you can open up the flow and it can feel so much easier. So you're going to create a whole new relationship with money and business that's filled with trust, belief, knowledge, creativity, joy. You will feel very different in your business. It's not really just a money program. It's also a business program, because that's all we coach on is like money and business and how to grow your business in a way that feels better, how to make more money doing it, how to open yourself to receiving. And so my clients learn how to create more money by utilizing universal laws. And so that's what I teach in there. I don't go through like, this is the universal law and this is it, but like I am teaching what are universal laws within the portal of it. And we all do that work together. You have monthly topics where we dive deeper into one of the universal laws every single month. We do it together as a group. And it's like I said, also, yeah, so we do it as a group. So there's a community of amazing people in there. I love every single one of them. It's really a magnetic group that like supports one another, cheers one another on. It's all very soulful entrepreneurs who like lift each other up. I attract the best people in the world. I do. I manifest them in. Okay. So this is really great for you if you're the type of person who is just really ambitious, has a growth mindset, feels really passionate about what you do as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and you're just ready to hit the next level. You want your business to have more flow. You want it to have more ease. You want it to be more fun. If you're someone who's really committed to your dream, who is manifesting big things in your life, someone who's coachable, someone who's kind and inclusive. These are the types of people who do really well in there. I think of it as the program for dreamers, right? And it's about like really achieving your dream. So what you get inside the movement, you get 1 year of support around creating money and around business. And so we have weekly calls with me. I'm the one who hosts the call. It's not one of those programs where there's tons of different coaches in there. It's like me and you, high level coaching every week. We get the last week of every month off for implementation, and I'll give you practices and things to do. And then, like I said, you also get like 30 video modules with teachings and exercises that help you move into a more abundant state of being. Just watching those, they're kind of like this, right? So like take this week, these 3 days times 30. And some people, we also have a private podcast with just the audio of them. So a lot of people just listen to those in the background, and just listening to that in and of itself lifts your energetic state around money. So I've had people who are like, I literally got in month 1 and just like listened to the teachings and started making way more money. And what's super fun, I didn't put this in the slides, but next month in February, we actually have our most fun month ever. We do this twice a year, where we have our money upgrade, right? It's our 21-day money reboot, where we actually go through the videos together as a group. And I give you guys little prompts in the Facebook group. So it's kind of like what you've been doing here, but the videos are a bit shorter. So you wouldn't have to show up 1 hour every single day. You listen to like a 10-minute video and then answer questions around it. And by the end of that month, oh my gosh, like so much opens up. So it's also a great time to join, not only because you get to save the $2,500 right now, but also we're going into one of the best months ever, which is our reboot. And it's going to be a great month to start. Okay, so what are some of the results of doing this work? And I just pulled a couple of my client wins, which honestly, I went into the folder and I'm like, holy cow, there's 200 of these to look through. So I just pulled a couple. So one of the results you'll get when doing this work is that you're going to make more money, right? So for example, here's some of my clients here. One of them saying, oh my gosh, my revenue just went back up to a 10K month, right? And she's like, I can't wait to create 10K more for December while we're focusing on value creation, which was our topic of the month for December. Another one of my clients, I'm so excited. I've been working on integrating the new belief I'm a match for huge numbers. And April ended up being an almost 40K month, right? And she also says, and my husband just called me to let me know a $31,000 bid was just sent to him from a client for a May project that just got approved. She says his highest project before this was maybe $1,500, right? From $1,500 to $31,000. She says his business is new and just getting off the ground. So that's another like a little wild thing. Once you start doing this work, there's a ripple effect of the people around you. Even if the people around you aren't doing this work, you will notice that like, you know, the channels of abundance, like it opens up everywhere. So a lot of people are like, I don't even get it. My partner's business is doing so much better as an effect of me doing this work. And we're bringing in more money than ever. It's wild and it's so fun. Okay, so there's so many more, right? Here's another client. I'm celebrating $150,000 of unexpected income, right? Counting my blessings. Another client, I did it. I manifested 30K in June. Another client just manifested my $50,000, and which was her master coach training project goal. And she said it wasn't until she joined the money manifestation movement that things started shifting. She said, after 7 weeks of no clients, I signed 2 clients, created $16,000 in business, and found out I was a certified master coach within 20 minutes of each other. So things happen quickly when you get into this energetic state of abundance and when you prioritize your energy. Another result that so many of my clients get is just more clients. They manifest more clients, right? Without putting more hours in. It's like, right? I get wins all the time. Oh my God, I manifested 2 clients this week, right? This client says, I'm celebrating re-sign a client for the 3rd time and having the biggest month in my business ever. And of course, I'm not going to read like all of these, but you can see here, we get this is definitely a result of doing this work, is because when you open up the channel of abundance, it can come through clients and you'll find that it's so much easier to manifest them. Another result of doing this work is that you'll start feeling better, right? You're going to be feeling in a state of abundance. You're going to be feeling in a state of flow, right? So for example, here's one of my clients here that says, and there's many wins here, but I'll just read one of them for you. So this was the last time we did our 21-day reboot that we're starting back up in February. She says, I wanted to share a win from the 21-day reboot. I started to notice an energetic shift right away. And after 2 weeks or so, I felt pretty steeped in this shifted energy, more expansive, things felt more believable, etc. She says, I didn't work anymore, but I focus on my money beliefs daily. And I had 4 people reach out about coaching last week and 3 signups with no consult calls. And 7 people signed up for my retreat. It felt like it didn't take any extra work. It was amazing. So that is what we are doing next month. That's why I'm like, guys, get in now. It is like the best time ever to join because we're going to be doing that next month. So you can like set the intention to like make your money back next month, right? Okay, another result that tends to happen whenever you start doing this work is just you will start manifesting your dream life. And again, there's so many wins here. I'm not going to read all of these, but I have clients who literally are now like on, traveling the world with their family, right? And working remotely. I have clients who one was just telling me yesterday, she's like, oh my God, I'm on set, right? She's an actress and she booked an amazing role, one of her dream roles. And she's like, I wouldn't have been able to do that without this work. Other clients celebrate things like, for example, here's a client here. She says, celebrating that I'm in Costa Rica and feeling the most free I've ever experienced in my life. Soaking it all in and recognizing the discomfort it brings sometimes coming into this new identity, right? So it's like you just start manifesting big opportunities that don't necessarily make sense, but when you do this work, it works. So if you have a second, you can like read through these. It's so fun. It's so inspiring. And we're going to put the replay up too, so that if you want to read through them further. So again, like I said, right now is the last chance to get in at this lower price. So if you get in now, you can get this entire program, the entire year coaching with me, right? We're going to be weekly, like creating these shifts, expanding your energy, expanding your capacity for money. It's $5,000 for the entire year, or you can do 6 monthly payments of $900 if that's easier and more accessible. Because on February 1st, our price is going up to $7,500. And we also have talks of moving this to a 6-month program for $7,500. So for sure, this is the best time to get in. So don't wait. You are worth it. I know it might feel scary. It might feel like a stretch. A part of your brain might be saying, wait a minute, no way should I be doing this. I have to like the part of you that doesn't want to receive, right? It's scary to receive support. I get it. I totally get it. And I've been there, but I will tell you, the more you're willing to receive support, the more you're going to like be able to expand and the more you're going to be able to give, right? So it's just going to increase that whole giving and receiving. And what you learn in here is also stuff like if you're a coach, you're going to be able to teach this stuff to your clients. That's another amazing ripple effect is when you have like high level coaching consistently, it makes you a better coach. A lot of my clients tell me that like it's amped up my coaching times 10. So also if you get in now, we do have another bonus, which is the Money Manifestation Workshop Bundle. This is awesome. So these workshops that I do, right? The 3-day events, I've done 5-day events, all of them are different. I never teach the same thing. I have about 6 of them. And what we do is we're going to be taking this down. So the replay is only available for about a week. We take them down and we put them all into this workshop bundle, and you get that for free if you join this week. So if you join before the 1st, you'll get this along with it. So that's like 15 hours of additional teachings that you can listen to, that you can learn from. All of them are super, super good. We don't offer this normally, but if you get it now, that's what you get. And here are some of the workshops that are in there. There's the 5-day Manifestathon, the 3-day Abundance Bootcamp, the How to Make a Lot of Money Masterclass, the Manifesting 6 Figures workshop, and then all other, like we'll put this one in there as well. So there's even more at this point than that. Okay, so let me see. Okay, the investment for this again, $5,000 or 6 payments of $900. And the place to do it is jamieberman.com/money-manifestation-movement. That is how you can join. And I will put this in the chat. If you're listening to the replay, I'll put it in the show notes so that you can go right there and grab it before the first. I want to go ahead and take questions. So let me go ahead and stop share, see what kind of questions you have. Let's see. I love that, Scott. That's so good. Can I just watch exercise and it works for me, right? That's it. And that's what the money manifestation movement is. You're not just watching the exercise video, you're literally doing it. And you're becoming the person who is super skilled at making money. Okay, Susanna says, how many people are approximately in the group? Just thinking of coaching calls, and darn, I didn't join at 3K, but I'm sure this will still be good. Yes, this is why you shouldn't wait on things, you guys, right? Okay, so the amount of people, so it's not, that's the thing. And that's another reason the price is going up, because originally I had this idea that it would be like this simplistic little course with hundreds of people, but that's not me, right? Like I love to have kind of an intimate group of people that I go really deep with. So I remember every single person in there. I remember every single coaching call. You really have access to coaching with me. I would say there's usually about 15 people on the coaching calls. I tend to get to everyone every time, but if I don't get to you in that call, I'll always say you're first up next week, right? So in the group right now, there's only about, I think between 40 and 50 people. And about 15 people come to the calls, because the thing is that a lot of people watch the replays of the calls and maybe it's up to 20. I don't know. It's hard to say. But I will say this, maybe it's about 20 that come to the calls, but a lot of people also just come and watch the calls, because even listening to the coaching, you will get coached, right? And so the community's really tight knit. The way that I host the coaching calls every single week is where we're all live. You'll see everyone there. So we all kind of get to know each other. The chat box is open. So everyone's kind of communicating and supporting each other, offering ideas, offering perspectives. So yeah, it's one of those things where it doesn't feel like, you will never feel like, oh my God, there's so many people. I don't have access to Jamie. I don't even know if she knows who I am. That is not how it is. You will kind of feel like it's a one-on-one with me and a group of amazing people. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Ganila was on the call yesterday. She actually got coaching yesterday, and she's here in the chat. She says, yesterday we were 18, 5 raised their hands and we all got coached. Jamie is a rock star. I love you, Ganila, right? We coached yesterday. And that's the thing, is I am a super fast coach. So I can get to the root of something really quickly and help you shift it. I have if you guys know human design, my emotional center is completely open. So I have no channels. So I can feel energy, whether it's in writing or whether I'm coaching, and I'm I know right where we need to go. Let's shift this. So I actually coach really fast, and it doesn't mean it's not effective, right? It's super, super effective. It's just you don't need an hour with me. Literally, you've seen it the last 2 days, right? I took someone in the last 8 minutes of the call and we got to it. Oh, thank you so much. So homework today. Yes. Thank you so much. So we do have homework today. The homework today is this, right? I want you guys to commit to the skill of making money. So I'm going to put this in the chat, and I want you to answer these questions in the Facebook group. Number 1, what are you committing to when it comes to money and the skill of making money? What are you going to decide to commit to? Number 2, how will you show up consistently for it? And number 3, how will you get support with it? How are you going to invest in that? Right? So answer those 3 questions. I put them in the chat. What are you committing to? How will you show up consistently for it? And how will you get support with it? Okay. And let me put for joining the movement, I'm going to put the page where you can go and join it here. Again, jamieberman.com/money-manifestation-movement. And if you just go to jamieberman.com just go to the movement. You'll see it on there. And yes, the calls. Thank you, Gunila, so much for answering the questions for me. So the calls are on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific. And we also do workshops too. So I will bring in extra guests, but that's beyond the calls, right? That's like, I'll do all 3 calls every single month, 3 to 4 calls every single month. And then we have additional workshops that are optional, but I bring in amazing experts. So we do those throughout the year too. I love it. Yeah. Antoinette says, I raised my hand for the first time yesterday and I got coached. Yeah. And that's the thing is some people go through this whole program without ever being coached. Right? They just really show up behind the scenes. Maybe they watch the replays. Maybe they just come to the calls and listen and they get transformation. And how do I know? Because I just get testimonials and they're like, holy cow, this program has changed my life. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never even coached you. I love it though. Right? Because it really is transformational. Yeah. So Mindy says it's so helpful to see others get coached. It's freaky how often it applies to me. And that's a thing, right, Mindy, is like our group, I would say this whole group, I think within the movement, within all of my programs, like I just attract people who are really in the same mental and energetic state. So really, I feel like everyone really benefits from each other. We're really kind of all in a similar place. And even if your business isn't in the exact same place, you're still going to benefit from how the other person is getting coached because we're kind of like, we're all working towards the same thing. So that's why those group calls are amazing. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. Carmela says the coaching call feels so intimate. They are amazing. Whether you ask a question or just listen, you learn so much. Yeah. And Carmela, you've been in there 3 months. And Carmela, I was like, Carmela, can I just share her story? Because she messaged me. She was really nervous to join, right? And she was like, oh no, am I going to make it back? And every single month since then, her business has it's been her biggest month, right? So on one of the coaching calls, she's like, can it really be this easy? I'm like, yes, it can. Let's not change that. Don't start making it hard. Yeah, so good, Scott. This taught me not to wait. Indecision. Don't wait, right? Because the price is this is the best price you're ever going to get it at. I promise. I love it. So good. Okay. I just want to make sure there's no other questions before let me go to the Q&A box. Okay. Before I hop off, but I gave you guys the homework. I gave you the mantra of the day. I would absolutely love to have all of you join me in the money manifestation movement and do this work for a year. It will change your life on every level. It will not just be money. Oh my God, this is so fun. I want to share this because I'm just seeing it. So Lauren, who's awesome. Lauren's in the movement. She gets coached. She shows up and goes all in. And she says, I made almost 10K while being on maternity leave, which is 10K more than I thought I would make with the help of Jamie and the movement. And I was one of the people feeling like I wasn't even trying or doing anything different. I was actually showing up less. I mean, technically I wasn't working. Wild stuff. Jamie is the best. Oh, thank you, Lauren. You're an example of what's possible. And that's what's so fun is like the power of getting coached and the power of one question. Because when Lauren was going on maternity leave, she was like worried about like, oh no, like, how do you do this with business? And I was like, what if you could make money while you're on maternity leave, And it's like, it opens and expands your mind to what's possible. And she didn't even work. She made 10K. So yeah. So if you invest in yourself, if you invest in your brain, if you invest in your relationship with money, that investment is going to 100x itself. This is really the best investment you can ever make in yourself. And I think like financially, if you want to, make more money, there's nothing better to invest in than in your brain and in your relationship with money, because you're going to make so much more. It's like a no-brainer. Oh, I love it. So Gunilla says, thank you so much, Jamie. Your workshops just keep getting better and better. Thank you all. I love you guys so much. Oh my God, Hales, you're going to join the movement. I love it. I can't wait to see you in there. And I can't wait to see your business is just going to like take off. And I know it. I'm so excited. All right, you guys. So I have an email going out to you with an invitation to join the movement. Join it now. Don't wait. Price is going up. You will not regret this decision. It will be so fun to be in this energy all year. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Okay. If you have any questions, you can always reply to the email too. All right. Much love. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here. Hey, thanks for listening. I hope this episode is something that you'll be able to add to your manifestation toolbox to come back to when you need a little extra motivation. If you like what you've heard today and want to take it deeper, you've got to come check out my signature coaching program, the Money Manifestation Movement. It's the place where you'll not only learn manifestation, but you'll begin to live it alongside me and an amazing community of like-minded entrepreneurs doing this work together. Head on over to jamieberman.com to learn more.